Hey, welcome, welcome everyone to the Sigma Show, episode 84. It's me, your host, Sigma. And before I let you know who we're joined by today, I'm going to go over our topics. None. We have no topics today. So rather than go over any topics, let's cut right to the chase. Who's joining me? The other Frost. Welcome.
What's good with you?
Marty Sleva.
Would you say what's good, Witcher?
What's good with you?
Oh, I thought you were like, you call Casey the Witcher.
That'll
Like,
be,
what's good, my Witcher? We talk like that all the
that'll
time.
be after, what is it, Hemsworth comes through? What's the good Witcher?
Joined by Marty Sleva.
Hello.
Rexicon Jesse.
I'm still laughing over that high. I really like what's good, Witcher. Like it's got a good amount of syllables to like really punch it up.
Yeah, it has good
It
mouthfeel.
Definitely good mouth.
And last but not least, Superman Jeff.
Yep.
So you guys might have noticed that the tags are wrong. That's on me. I was a little distracted.
Are we not-
By,
I'm not.
say again.
I'm not gonna go grab my Switch so we can play.
I mean,
Smash?
if you want to add something to your list right now, go for it. Because today's one and only topic is essentially what we as a collective have been playing, what we've been watching, just whatever media we've been consuming. So why don't one of you guys get the ball rolling? And remember, this is a conversation, so feel free to interject and ask questions to one another, because this is the whole show. This is going to be the entire show.
This is it. This could be 5 minutes long. This could be 5 hours long. It's all up to
This
us.
could never end. We don't know.
I was like, wait, hold on. What's the upper limit? Because I gotta be here for 5 hours.
So let's test that theory. Let's Frost, you jump right in. Let me go ahead and fix the tags and stuff on the stream.
All right, bro. I'm bringing in here a dollop of nostalgia. I don't think I've seen too many things. So I was like, whatever happened to all those like action comedies, all that good stuff? Where's the Back to the Future now? So I've been watching like Rush Hour, right? 1 and 2. There was no third. I haven't.
Ooh.
Yeah, it sucks that
Why
they
do
never
you
made
say
a third.
Why do people keep saying
Because
that?
it was garbage. Even Jackie Chan said
That is not true.
he said he's trash, but the pay was good.
Did he say that?
That's exactly what he said. He's like, it's so bad. He said, it's so bad, but the paycheck is very good. I remember that interview. It was amazing. And it's sort of like, are these actors, as they're getting older, starting to take themselves too serious and going for like the Oscar bait movies? Because that's why I have this unfounded loyalty to Nicolas Cage, who got his Oscar immediately, and then now he's just been doing garbage ever since.
Just does what he wants.
Where's
yeah.
my national treasure? And who
much
brought it up?
garbage.
I think it was during stream, but they said, well, those action comedies are kind of just Marvel now. And I'm like, damn, you're right.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're right.
that makes
Yeah.
me sad.
It's like, dang, they like kind of have the whole
But-
market on that.
But that's like watching the same action comedy movie every time.
Exactly, right? Like, I saw The Hangover. I didn't go all the way to, what, 3 or 4?
Mm.
Right? Superbad had the
Is there a
one.
fourth one?
And like,
Superbad was my movie. That was my
and
thing.
boy, we left it there, and that's it. Like, I want more of this, just one-off. Those are my 80s adventure films as well. Like The Goonies, right? It was just a small little encapsulated adventure. I like that. I miss that. Where things are not attached anymore. Everything's
Everything.
joined together now.
We still get those movies, but they go straight to Netflix and they're fucking bad.
Right.
They're like
They don't-
terrible. They're like straight to Netflix, like Kevin Hart and Kumail Nanjiani movies, who I think are both capable of making good
Hold
movies.
up.
But there was like
Do
the
not
Kumail.
besmirch Kumail.
Did you watch
Nanjiani.
the Kumail and Dave Bautista movie on Netflix? Because that was a good action comedy. Did you like that one, Casey?
I did not like that.
I love Kumail. Netflix is the place where like 99% of movies go to die.
You talking Stuber?
That's true.
Stubber? What is it?
So no one
yeah.
was a fan of Red Notice, I guess.
Red
No,
Notice
I
is
think-
very mediocre.
Oh my
very,
God.
barely mediocre.
Red Notice is if an algorithm made a movie. Also, I
Ooh,
realized
That's kind of what happened.
I
think.
realized because Red Notice is the one with the Rock, Gal Gadot, and Ryan
And-
Reynolds, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think the three of them are charisma vacuums.
Right.
Like, I don't dislike
accurate.
any of them, but I have no positive feelings towards any of them, which sucks because The Rock, like, when I was a kid and got into wrestling, The Rock, I was like, oh, this is like, especially
That's
when he
where
like,
he's at.
pivoted to transition into movies, I was like, this is going to be the most charismatic action star. This is going to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. But his movie, I don't know if it's because he doesn't want to take risks or because, like, he's incapable of making himself the punchline of a joke. But he's just become like the most boring, impervious thing. Like that's what Black Adam is. Black Adam is like untouchable. And I'm like, that's not interesting at all.
Yo, I'm with Darren on that.
I see I get you. Yeah.
That he is essentially an '80s bona fide action star, but he's no Bruce Willis, he's no Arnold,
Right.
he's no Sylvester Stallone, right? Where's your Rocky? Where's your Rambo? Where's Terminator for you? Where's your Die Hard? He doesn't have any of that. It's just a lot of like.
It's almost like
stuff.
You actually kind of hit the nail on the head. I think, Martin. It's like he's too cool to like because both Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger get made fun of for whatever reason, despite them being super big action stars and being looked at as like big tough guys in their own movies and like in society as a whole. Like they get mocked, not pejoratively, but just like on the side.
Like a movie like Kindergarten Cop or something, and it like leans into it, or even like Bruce Willis in Die Hard. Like 99% of Die Hard is Bruce Willis getting the shit kicked out of him. And The Rock, like
that, dude.
The epitome of The Rock to me is that whole thing in whatever Fast and Furious movie with him and Vin Diesel, their fight scene. In their contract, they had to have an equal number of punches land to each other because one couldn't come out. And I'm like, this is like the two of you in a nutshell. Like the two of you are fucking like sugar-free vanilla lattes. Like I don't give a shit about this. Like this is like humorless.
Which is like it's just why are they taking themselves more serious, right? They've had their moments to be. Sure, like you've got Riddick for Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
You've got The Rock and just about everything else he's been. It's like they forget, though, Vin Diesel was in The Pacifier and The Rock was in The Tooth Fairy.
Tooth Fairy, right.
I miss more of that from them. They just become this, like, very generic charisma is what it is, right? So just a bottle straight from the shelf. We need a little charisma in here. That's it, but it doesn't bring anything else. They wish they could be Tom Hanks.
It would should be Tom Hanks. that wasn't where I thought we were going.
Tom Hanks.
But okay, Frost, you're still going down your list, correct?
Rush Hour 2.
As far as the movies, I stopped right there, and then a bunch of Nicolas Cage stuff. I even went back and watched like Transformers before it got to be a little too much, right?
Wait, like the first live action movie, or
at
like
what
the
point did it
animated?
become too much?
That was just like that was just a good bit of mechanical gravitas. That's all it offered, and a little Shia LaBeouf, and that's it. I don't know.
Oh, okay,
like there's a fine line between this is goofy, this is serious, and it's also not connected to anything else. I like missing that. I don't want to go all the way back to the 80s and the 90s, but I want more of those. As far as like that's on the TV side of things. I also saw that The Watcher, which last time we were here, we talked about that. Where I said I don't care if it sucked. It's a limited series. Well, it just got a season 2. So
yeah, like that's not what limited
Nothing
means.
ever dies.
So it's limited to 2 seasons.
I knew it was going to happen, and I'm like, you know what? I would rather have that. I'd rather you be like, this is the one because it's a one and done series, and then if each season is self-encapsulating, I'm down with it. It's just odd that it was The Watcher because nothing happened in that.
So do you like what's it called? Miracle Workers, where every season is its own separate thing in like a completely different continuity timeline
Like
characters.
the same actors.
Anthologies?
Yeah. What?
Anthologies are like kind of there, but then they even have a moment where they drag on too much. So
It's
like
true.
Mike Flanagan and what you got?
Wow. Like Flanagan taking strays on a Saturday
Ryan
or Sunday morning.
Murphy, like let's be honest, The Watcher is just something he wanted to try on American Horror Stories, but they were like, "What? This is not it, bro."
Oh, is
But
it a Ryan
fine.
Murphy thing?
It's Ryan
I didn't
Murphy,
know.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I don't know. That was like really odd and twisted, but nothing happened.
Yeah,
So, like, why is
it was
that
a really
one?
boring story.
What is it about a dude just like looks through people's windows like a little pervert?
No, wait, have you not seen it?
No.
Oh,
I almost have a thing where if Netflix advertises something too much to me, I'm like, all right, out of principle, I'm just not gonna watch this.
But didn't you watch the Midnight Club or whatever that?
Yeah, but that's
Wasn't
Flanagan.
that the
I'm
same
all
thing?
in on Flanagan.
Oh, okay.
You mean
Yeah,
Midnight
fair.
Mass or?
No.
Oh, Midnight Club is the new show by the Midnight Mass guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Is it related?
No, I mean kind of
Anthology.
spooky, tangentially
Alright.
spooky with a lot of the actors.
Same actors, same process, where he gets an old book and just like remakes it. Cause
Yeah,
like,
he
they're
should
gonna
do Bible. That's like the oldest book.
Wait, was Midnight Mass a book?
Yeah,
It was not. No,
it was. Hold up.
No.
no. Midnight Mass is an original story. Midnight Club is a series of Christopher Pike books.
Oh, Midnight. Yeah, no, hold up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we're getting you confused because we keep saying midnight and then another
Yeah,
word.
that's getting me. I tell you what. see here.
Taylor Swift had an album called Midnight, and that was not based on
Midnight
that
Mass.
was based on her
was
relationships.
based on a story within a story.
What isn't?
From Maddie Young is what that is. Yeah, no, that's all Mike Flanagan does. Is he takes old, like horror stories in a way, but more emphasis on the story than the actual horror, and he just brings them in. All of them have been that. So I watched it like, all right, how you gonna do this? Oh, that was some duty. That was some booty duty, bro. But I'm excited because he's gonna follow the House of Usher next.
Yeah, he's got Poe.
Yeah, a little bit of Poe. Yeah, like that's his whole shtick, though. It's like it's all just books that he brings in, and they kind of hit or miss. Where was that?
I feel like
I think
had
there
a
are
talk
way
not too
more
long ago.
hits than misses.
He's 2 for 2 on my end.
Oh my God, no, he was 3 for 3 up
I
until
mean,
Midnight
hold on,
Club.
2 for 4. Sorry. I will take.
What other besides Midnight Club? What wasn't a hit for?
All right, so it'll be 2.5 for 4 because like half of Midnight Mass, and not consecutive either. It's not like first half, last half.
Fucking get him, boot him from the call.
No.
Like,
I
booty
didn't
duty
give-
out of here. Duty booty. What was it?
Like,
Boot his duty right out of here.
Some of that was a little like, all right, man, it's a little self-indulgent.
Like
Man,
I
come
was
on,
not
man.
on the Flanagan hype train until Midnight
Club?
Mass. Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass.
opened
We
my
could call
eyes.
him. I could call it fucking Midnight Club. God damn it.
No, Midnight Mass.
Yeah,
yes.
Midnight Mass.
Like that was the one I was like, oh, okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
So like maybe because I just didn't care about Haunting on Hill House. Like I never watched it. Like the concept does not appeal to me. Blind Manor, I watched some of it and thought it was real goofy and boring. Like I just wasn't into it. So I was like, whatever. This is like the same kind of horror tropes that everyone falls in love with, and I don't care about. But Midnight Mass was something completely different. Like I loved that series.
Is it a cultural thing? Because I got this
Maybe.
feeling. This isn't a racial thing, but I'm like, this is some white people horror. Dude.
You might. You might
to
be
be honest,
onto
I do
something.
love it, and I am white.
I'm like, I'm not. I would not be in that house. I would not be in that situation.
Like because my fiance loves that stuff too. Like she was a big fan of the other two, but she also gravitates to like horror stories in general, like horror stories, true crime stuff. So I don't know. There's a weird kind of especially with the true crime stuff. There's a weird correlation between like the horrors of like actual crimes and like women's interest in it.
I mean, I think
It's a weird correlation. I don't know what it is.
I think true crime absolutely has like a huge like female demographic.
Yeah.
Like starting even on podcasts and stuff, and then bleeding into this. Like, I'd be willing to bet that the Dahmer show on Netflix, which was massive, had a overwhelmingly larger percentage of female viewers than like the Watcher or something. Oh, I guess is the Watcher true crime? I still don't know what the Watcher is.
it's true crime.
That's the thing.
True crime.
It's a true something, but like nothing happens. So it's like true nothing. Like I don't know what you define that.
I
as.
like that as a
Honey Bunny
genre
chat-
name. True nothing.
Honey Bunny says women are super into true crime, inclling myself.
Yeah.
So there.
I like some
We have a
true
sample.
crime stuff. Like they had like Mind Hunters on Netflix. That was good.
That was cool.
There was a couple of other documentary ones that were good. Some
Those
get a little
documentaries,
too-
like people fucking gobble those up. I think it's because
my God, yeah.
watching other people die makes you feel alive. Right? You're like, oh, this dumb bitch got killed by Dahmer. I'm not gonna do that.
There's
That's what
one about the
murderers
Stunning
think.
Scam.
That's what murderers think. I wonder how many murderers watch these shows and take notes and it's like, oh, this is how Gacy got his dumbass caught.
That's where he fucked up. Not me though.
Not me though.
I'll get it.
It's like
I got the
coaches
formula
watching the
right
film and be like, all right, this is how we're gonna learn from our mistakes from Sunday.
No, but did y'all see I don't know if it was a meme or if it was a real thing where they're like, yo, we think this guy's a Zodiac, and they went through like his comments that he left on movies, and one of them was he's talking about Ted Bundy. He's like, Ted Bundy was mid or some shit. Like he was just review bombing Ted Bundy movies. They think that guy was the Zodiac.
I like the idea that the Zodiac would call Ted Bundy mid. I think that's
Right.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty funny.
Oh my god. No, that's amazing. That's all. That's all my TV side of things. Somebody else take it. When we get back to games, we can wrap around. I'm all right with that.
All right,
I
yeah,
wanna-
we can stick to the TV track. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, I guess TV movies. I'm curious about. We were talking a little bit about Rush Hour 3, and how you were disappointed in that, except for Casey, I guess. Like, Rush Hour, you were like, I think you defended
Oh
it.
yeah, I like
like-
Rush Hour 3.
I haven't seen it, but that did make me
Is that-
think of movies that disappoint you. or shows that disappoint you that were like, oh, I so want this, and then it let you down? Because I have two that I watched that I was like amped to see, and wow, what disappointments.
Oh no.
So if you've seen either of them, this will probably be a very short conversation because if you've seen either of them, I'll be impressed. The Mad God from Phil Tippett. If anybody saw that,
I loved it.
did you love it?
I loved it. It made me so uncomfortable. I also watched it extremely high, just like like in a little pocket dimension.
That okay. I am not for like you got to be high to enjoy something, but that does seem like the right movie to watch when you were just blazed out of your mind. Because it's visually wild. Like, it's very imaginative. It's like so much craft and work went into it. I can appreciate it, and it's stop motion. So, and there's like a mixed media of stop motion and a bunch of things. And it's gorgeous. But like, boy, does it just meander and like repeat scenes and like just kind of be a disappointing story as a whole.
What is that about? Like, what's the premise of
That's,
the bad guy?
that's a good question.
I
So
agree.
I
It's
find
made to be about anything.
like it's like there's a dude and he goes down to this pit and there's like a factory that makes humanoids. Like I can tell you what happens and I can tell you how the story sort of ends, but like that won't answer your question of what's it about.
I can tell you what happened, and he still won't know.
So it's Phil Tippett, for people who don't know, is sort of like a motion graphics and like special effects guru. Like he, the scenes, like the hollow chest scenes in the original Star Wars movie, you know, like Chewbacca's playing C-3PO and like little monster chest. He's the one who did like the stop animation and those things. He was the dinosaur like supervisor on Jurassic Park. So he like is one of the godfathers of modern special effects. And so he's been, and like he did a bunch of the shit for like RoboCop and stuff. And so he's been trying to make this movie for like the longest fucking time. And he finally got the budget to make it. And I think he's literally been working on it for like several decades.
Yeah, it's been a
That's
long
30
time.
years in the making. But
Yeah, and he like did everything. He wrote it, he directed it, he edited it, and everything. And yeah, it's like it's like Scorn. You know how Scorn the game is just a bad time, but like a bad time I enjoyed. It's like that. It's a bad time I enjoyed. It's on Shudder, makes you uncomfortable. It probably has no actual value to it, but I really enjoyed it. There you go. Thumbs up.
Interesting.
Yes, no value.
Yeah,
but
I
enjoyed it.
It's also 80 minutes long.
Yeah.
Shout out to things that are 80 minutes
That's
long.
true.
huge shout out.
And
there.
that is
That's a plus then?
Oh yeah, that's a plus. Yeah,
it should have been about like 45 though.
yeah.
Like
I could have fucked with 45 minutes as well.
Yeah, it's real padded in spots.
Yeah,
And I
because
think-
one of my things is the opposite of 80 minutes long that I'm going to talk about, and that it should have been 80 minutes.
Did you
long.
watch all of Lord of the Rings? Is that
No, I did watch.
Should've been
No.
80 minutes.
I love them. Those should not be. Those should be. Those
Yeah,
are
no.
the few things that should be longer.
11 and a half hours is the correct length for Lord of the Rings.
Did you watch the extended cut though?
Yeah, that's what makes it 11 and a
Always,
half hours.
always. Yeah, theatrical cuts are for heathens.
I just want to point out, King's F42 said Dinosaur Supervisor is the greatest real job title ever.
Could you imagine? Yeah. Also, that movie like definitely needed a dinosaur super title
Yeah.
because there was like
Oh,
children
yeah.
running around on set and they'd get eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys gotta watch them die.
Yeah.
Well,
This is where we figured out Murray doesn't know how movies work.
Before they did that on Jurassic Park, like graphics or like CG on the computer had never been done before. That was the first time that they did it was on Jurassic Park. So
It
that's why it
looks
was such a
so
big deal.
good.
Yeah.
It's crazy how good Jurassic Park still looks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
30
had
years
been
later.
done before, but not to the extent that it was done there.
Why is Restream Bot all horned up in your chat, Casey? What's going on here?
I don't know.
No,
I thought
if you-
Restream Bot's supposed to be an ally.
If you watch the movies that made us and they go over to Jurassic Park,
That was a
and
great episode.
It had never been done before. Like, they
Yeah.
never were
Oh,
able
yeah,
to- and that was revolutionary when they came up because they didn't believe them at first. So they were still trying to do the animatronic figures for like some of the dinosaurs, and it just wasn't working. And they're like, we have an idea. And the guy who was in charge of the dinosaurs was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then it actually worked, and unfortunately, they wound up letting him go. But that's where we get all the CGI from, was when they took a chance and made a T-Rex on the computer screen.
I feel like I'd be worried about firing the guy in charge of dinosaurs because I feel like his first retaliation would be like, well, I'm gonna let all the dinosaurs go.
I'm gonna release them all.
I'll let them go. I'll feed them sugar and then open their cages.
Oh, Restream bots
you know how
reposting
dinosaurs get on sugar.
YouTube. I don't know how
Yeah,
Restream bot
the
works.
Restream thing is.
I didn't even
it's
know this was
funneling
on
all the
YouTube.
chat.
Is this where like horn dog is like only horn dogs watch on YouTube? Is that like?
Yeah, a bunch of perverts over there. But I also stream this on YouTube so that I don't have to download it and upload it later.
That's genius. I gotta figure out how to do that. Jesse, you said you were disappointed by two things.
Oh yeah, I'm shocked someone saw Mad God. That made me happy. Now I'm curious if you saw this other movie called Psycho Goreman.
I have seen Psycho Gorman. I did not like it.
Were you? I think you talked about that very recently.
I
Actually,
did, because that was one of our movies we watched for Halloween this year, and we saw it in November, but it still counts. It is a horror comedy.
Why? Why does it still count?
Because horror movies all the time, whatever. It's a movie that basically like alien that's pure evil. It gets trapped in like basically like a Cinnabite box thing, and a little girl and her brother find it. And the little girl finds the box, and like as long as she has the little gem in it, she can completely control what this thing does. And it can like talk to her, so it's like, I'm gonna kill you and bathe in your blood. And she's like, braid my hair or whatever. And then he has to do it. The premise is hilarious. I absolutely loved the idea.
She had to teach him how to braid before he did it, though. Did he just automatically know how to braid?
Yeah,
That's where the realism comes in for me.
That's not actually a line, but like that sort of idea. Like teach him how to play like dodgeball and like doing silly stuff. It was the premise was so good, and the movie is awful. Like it is not funny. The children are super annoying. Whoever wrote this did not know how to write compelling characters, and like. There's such good. I love Power Rangers for like the practical effects, like the suits that they wear are outstanding in that show, especially in the new ones. The old ones are great too, but like new ones it's amazing. And they have a bunch of those
new ones. They're still doing Power Rangers.
Yeah, they're still doing Power Rangers.
They've never stopped doing Power Rangers.
Where are they? Where like they just on like?
I think they air on
Fox
Nickelodeon
on Saturday morning.
Yeah, they air on Nick. I think they
own
the rights.
Yeah, they wind up on Netflix, but they start on Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still
They're
like
actually on Nick now? Because they used to be on Fox.
No, they're on Nick.
Are they still like Japanese-led productions that like, or are they?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think Saban is still in partial ownership, so maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah.
It's a weird looking movie, bro. Like the Psycho. It looks.
Yeah.
You know how Mike Myers was based on William Shatner?
Yeah.
Michael Myers.
This dude looks based on Rudy Giuliani.
What was the guy?
Psycho Gorman.
Psycho Gorman. Yeah.
Add some scales and spikes to Rudy Giuliani. Yeah, you're not wrong.
The face looks just like Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psycho Gorman felt to me like a movie like it would have worked well as like a spoof trailer that only existed as a spoof trailer. And if it only existed as like a 90-second thing, you'd have been like, oh, this is pretty funny. But by turning it into a full movie, you're like, I didn't need all of this.
Yeah, like this is more than we asked for.
Yeah.
See, I disagree. I mean, yes, it would have worked as a great, because the trailer is what sold me, which is just a 90-minute thing. But like, there's so much potential there that they just do not get into and just make poor decisions the whole way through. And it made me so sad to just watch something with such a great idea amount to nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's a bummer.
Sad. So that is sad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, Jesse.
2 movies that disappointed you.
You got
the next movies. You got to watch. You got to make sure the next thing you watch is a goodie.
Is a real banger.
Time 1. M4 Time 1. That's
I haven't
a
seen
really
that
good
in so long.
Oh, you'll love it. You'll laugh. You'll cry.
Are you sure? I'm scared to watch it because I don't want those memories to sour.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you don't want that like trauma to come back.
M4 Time scarred you.
Yeah.
Ducky.
It did to me.
Did you wrong.
That's where my
never
fear
liked
of
those
big
movies.
water comes from.
See, there you go. Well, Ducky. Also, don't look at anything about the making of the movie or what happened to the Ducky.
Yeah, I heard about that story.
Yeah.
I won't talk about it. I don't want to.
Voice actor Ducky, super murdered by her father.
Yeah, he was supposedly jealous of her success.
Yeah.
You know.
I shouldn't say super murdered because it was just murdered by her father. Regular murdered.
Yeah, I didn't hear about
which
that.
is also
I have
which
no
is
idea
bad.
about that.
It's bad.
Yeah.
We're against murder on the show.
Hard stance,
Yeah.
no murder.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Okay. Well, most of us are against murder.
We don't have a hard stance on the show.
All right. Does that wrap up your cinema listing, Jesse? We can.
I'm gonna say yes because I don't want to keep talking. I want to interject with other people.
We don't mind. We don't mind.
I saw.
Yeah, we don't
Okay, I'll give you one more disappointment movie then.
I'm mad at your other one was another disappointment.
But I saw it
on purpose.
But I saw it a while ago, so it's not like an immediate disappointment.
All right.
Did anyone see
Right.
the? We were talking about bad action comedies that aren't funny. Did anyone else see The Bubble?
Oh, that's
No.
with,
Yeah.
what's
That's
his
the what's his name movie? The guy who
Yeah.
did like Knocked Up and Super Judd Apatow movie. About
Yeah.
all the actors who got to
Judd
film the movie in the
Apatow.
bubble.
Yeah,
I thought that was really bad. Again, straight to Netflix.
I think I'm about to watch that because I convinced
Oh, no.
my girlfriend, who I love James McAvoy. She loves James McAvoy, but she hadn't seen Split
doesn't?
yet, right? So I was like, "You're gonna love that." And she's like, "What else has he done lately?" And he's apparently done something with the bubble. So I think I'm
he's
sitting
like
to
It's
watch
a
that,
very
too.
small role.
cameo. Yeah,
enough.
Yeah.
it doesn't count.
That's
Save
just like a
yourself.
dollop. That's a dollop of
Dollop of
McAvoy.
It's too small of a deuce.
yeah.
All right, fair enough. This looks like a mess.
It starts off like a pretty funny premise. Like they, are doing a movie and it's during COVID, and then things keep happening that's like messing them up. And then it's like they want to quit the movie, but the producers literally won't let them leave the compound where the movie's being shot. And it's like, oh no, it's like a bit of a, oh, is this going to turn into a try to escape film? And it does for about 5 minutes. And then it turns into college improv comedy for another hour and a half. Like,
Yeah, I'm about to say this is everywhere. You got Karen Gillan.
yeah,
it's a really
You
it's
got
a
Pedro
star-studded
Pascal,
yeah, it's a real hot mess.
David Duchovny, whatever his name is. Keegan.
I like the
Michael
Chovny.
The Chovny. Where's he been? Like, I haven't seen David Duchovny in anything in a very long time, and he shows up in this.
I think
They
he's
haven't
been-
let him off the island in the bubble.
Yes,
Gotta stay.
Does
I think
whatever
he's
he
just
wants.
been sitting on his pile of money. I think.
I do that.
That's what I do after X Files. Oh yeah, just sit on that.
Honey Money said David Duchovny, which I like a lot. That's a really good pull. Honey Money.
All right.
Yeah.
So all disappointments from Jesse.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess.
Movie front not looking good.
Oops,
Frost,
all
don't watch
bombs.
it.
Okay. Well, I mean, since I guess I have kind of a counter to that, like I have a lot of stuff that I was like really high on, in terms of, like watching.
Please give me
Hell
some
yeah.
positivity. I want it.
Let me go next. I've been on kind of a cartoon streak lately. Like it started probably ever since, because you guys know I was just really amped on Rise of TMNT. Like that show was phenomenal.
Oh no, I didn't know.
I'm still waiting to watch the movie. I need people in my household to line up so we can all watch together, because they won't just let me enjoy things on my own. That's just how this house works. But so after that, I'm like, okay, I need to find something else to kind of fill this void I feel in my soul, because TMNT is over. So I started Being Puppy Cat, which is
Yeah.
it was a YouTube show that was run by made by Channel Frederator. It got picked up by Netflix and they reanimated the first season, which is technically only 3 episodes, I think. So they reanimated those, stuck them on top of the second season, and they launched all of that together as like a big pack. So it's like Being Puppy Cat, Lazy in Space is like the full title. And I really like it. Like it has all the same hallmarks of like Adventure Time and Steven Universe, and like it has the whole magical girl premise. Like essentially a girl is kind of what's the word? Like she's kind of a fuck up, I guess.
Yeah, you can call them fuck ups. That's fine.
Classic.
Yeah, she's like, she goes from job to job. She's not really fitting in anywhere. She doesn't have any real skills, whatever. She gets fired from her most recent job, and then like she's magically bestowed a cat that also looks like a dog.
Okay.
And he speaks in like Vocaloid. Like it's actually like a Vocaloid voice actor does the voice of this character. So like it sounds like kind of tones and sounds, but like he's subtitled so you can understand what he says. It's like the cutest sounding thing ever. And the character looks really cute, and he becomes her pet, and he actually allows her to enter what they call temp space, where she does temp work in like this weird kind of adventure timey like universal space.
Like what kind
And like
of
that's how she
like
she
odd
does like
jobs is
odd
she
jo-
doing?
yeah, she'll do like weird stuff. Like she'll have to babysit a baby who is also a
Ooh.
planet.
Nice.
Oh,
Like she'll have to like help a guy make magic donuts, or there's an episode where a guy is constantly racing himself on a Mobus strip, like just himself from different points in his life. So like the oldest version of himself there, he's asking for help to win the race against his younger self who cheats all the time.
Oh man.
all right.
So like all those little stories like on her adventures and like all the little stories where she is interacting with the other characters on this weird island where she lives are all super wholesome. Like they're feel good, they're emotional because everyone is just a little bit sad and depressed all the time, but like they all still love each other very much. Like the music is really good, the art's really good, and there is a through line of like backstory for like her, all the characters, everything that's going on. But they push that so far to the margins that by the end of the show, it really does feel like nothing has happened. So that's a little disappointing. But like the ride to get there was still super satisfying. Like I really loved that show. I only wish that they would kind of make it make more sense, because things get really wild, really like out there in terms of like concept and reveals or whatever, but like none of it is grounded in anything that you were teased at much before. Like I had to watch a ton of like explainer videos, and even in the explainer videos, folks were like, "Yeah, I don't really know what this means," and like you fucked up when like the people who make an entire YouTube channel based on your content are still guessing. But
How's the music?
it has the music's really good. I wish I could remember like the composer on it, but I know Natasha Allegri is the creator. She used to work on Adventure Time, but Pendleton Ward, who created Adventure Time, also worked on this show. So like it's weird that one of his people who helped him make Adventure Time, he's now like on the staff of them to help them make their thing. Like I think that's really cool.
That is really cool.
And Camille Nanjiani does a voice in it, and he's amazing.
There you go. Better than Stuber. That was a bad movie. Stuber was
That
bad.
was a bad movie.
Oh man.
So on to continue on the cartoon wave, I watched Space Dogs, which is a Netflix original.
Yes.
What?
It's really good.
What?
Like I'm surprised how it's essentially the premise is humans have basically made the Earth unlivable, and so they need to find a new planet. And so they genetically engineer their dogs to make them kind of humanoid, like they're anthropomorphic now, and they send them into space on a mission to find a new planet for them. And so you're following the dogs, not the humans. And the dogs have essentially been on this mission for like 3 years. And this was not how long things were supposed to take. So like they're constantly trying to communicate back with Earth, and like they're not hearing anything back. So they're kind of on their own. But dogs, they're super loyal. And so like the tension becomes like, do we kind of start to fend for ourselves, or do we stay loyal to this mission where the humans who we know have all these problems are counting on us and for us to do this thing for them.
Oh, hold on.
And so like it's really silly, like it's really funny, it's lighthearted, but there's actual action in it. Like it's like it's cartoony, but like in the Rick and Morty way, it's cartoony. Like
hold up.
they pull off action really well. Yeah, go ahead, Frost.
You mean Dogs in Space?
Dogs in Space, yes.
All right, because I heard Space
What did
Dogs.
I say?
Yeah, there's
Oh, did I say
That's
Space
the
Dogs?
old Russian animated cartoon that
I'm
came
sorry.
the series. I was like, this.
I'm so
does not-
sorry.
like, that can't. It looks. Kinda,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right.
It is Dogs in Space, not Space
I
Dogs.
was
My bad.
I was
Very
doing this,
different.
I was doing the same thing. I was like, I'm finding like 8 different hits for Space Dogs, and none of these sound like what Casey is talking about.
I literally wrote Space Dogs on my notes here, and that's just absolutely
Yeah, I was
wrong.
like, hold up, Space Dogs. It's based on Belka and Strelka, who were Russian dogs sent into space. And I was like, okay, I had not seen anything about this one, but no, I think I saw at least like the cover bit of Dogs in Space. Hey,
Yeah,
Joel
I think
Osment
it pops
is in
up
there.
on. But like, yes, Haley Joel Osment is in that. I want to say he's the main character. The main dog is named Garbage, but I think it's just a
Yeah, that's Haley
know,
Joel
right?
Osment.
It's a great name.
Yeah, that's Haley Joel Osment.
Great name for a dog.
How's that
They named their dog
disrespectful? As a kid, I wanted a dog just to name it Dumpster.
Man,
Oh, Michael Dorn's in this show.
Garbage Pail Kids and such.
Like it's really well voice acted. Like the plot is interesting. Like as funny and goofy as the premise is, like it goes into some like actual like interesting and like heartfelt places. Like you're rooting for like the dogs and their different motivations on this freaking spaceship or whatever. So like I finished season 1. Has a really great ending for season 1 as well, and a new interesting wrinkle to start season 2 off. So I'm really excited to jump back into that. But like I've been enjoying it quite a bit. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Watch it, even if you're not watching it with your kids.
I watch it with my son. It's a pretty good show.
Oh, I might have to watch that then.
And my final one is I'm not as high on in terms of cartoons. I started the Samurai Rabbit series because that was one of the first ones I gravitated to because I know that character Usagi Yojimbo is tangentially related to Ninja Turtles. Like he had cameos in like the older shows and stuff, and I think they had like crossover comics back in the day. So like this is his Netflix show, and it's more CG, kind of like Kung Fu Panda ish, like the series and whatnot. And the first episode was just really childish. Like that show was aimed at a much younger audience than I think I was expecting. And though the second episode does get a little more interesting, it's still kind of it's still a little juvenile. But I'm still on the fence. Like I want that to be a better show because I know that character has ties to Ninja Turtles. So I might give it a couple more episodes before maybe I drop it entirely. But
just out of sheer loyalty, you're gonna
yeah,
do this.
I'll give it a fair shake and then I'll be like, all right, this isn't for me.
Okay, this is gonna sound stupid. Usagi Yojimbo isn't from Ninja Turtles, like it's from his own thing.
I think it is its own character. I feel like they had like crossover.
I think the comic series might have been under the same label, so like that's where the original crossover happened. Like
they try to use the popularity of the Ninja Turtles to help.
To be like, oh, we can bring in this guy, and so and then he would appear in like the cartoon, and he had like I remember having an action figure of him from the Ninja Turtles line as a kid.
Oh wow, you still have it?
Yeah, maybe in my mom's basement.
Oh, that might be worth something.
You think?
I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna retire at least
Exactly.
Usagi Yojimbo toy, missing one sandal.
But that's it in terms of like cartoons. I have watched some live action stuff. Another Kumail Nanjiani joint. I watched the first episode of the Apple Plus series Little America.
Oh yeah, that was delightful.
That's like an anthology of a bunch of like immigration stories, and the first one follows a young Indian kid who works, or who doesn't work, but like he lives in a hotel because his parents run the hotel. And they get deported. Like he apparently was born in America. His parents get deported, and they kind of leave him behind so that he can run the hotel business for them. And while they try to get their paperwork in order for him to come back, and it's a story about like that kid kind of fending for himself in that hotel for a while. It's really sad, but also like just really well told, and it has a like it's such a sad like touching story. But like by the end of it, you get like a real endorphin rush of like just feelings. And like it's the people who made Master of None, as well as Kumail Nanjiani, him and his wife, because they have a production company, I believe.
Yeah.
And it is so far, I am super high. Like I haven't seen any of the other shows, but that first episode alone is worth like a bunch of awards. Like it is really good. So I can't wait to kind of keep diving into on that because I love stories like that. There was an immigration story similar to that on Master of None in the first season.
Yeah,
Master of None was really good. Yeah,
and it was really really insightful and touching.
Yeah, and season 2 of Little America is debuting in like a month.
Nice.
Yeah.
So cool. By the time I'm finished with the first one, the second one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's nice. I like the little anthology thing. It's like these short little singular movies.
Nice.
It's just so cool.
And finally, I watched the finale of Atlanta.
Okay, I haven't seen the finale. I haven't seen the last episode yet.
Okay, so no spoilers. No spoilers for anything. But it like I do think the previous season where they ironically weren't in Atlanta might be stronger than this one. But this one does return to a lot of the weird surrealist nature of the first season that kind of hooked people in the first place.
Yeah.
So like it is good. Like point blank period. It's a great season. The stuff they touch on is like brilliant. The episode we mentioned a little bit on a Breakout podcast, I think.
Yeah, the Goofy movie
does the mockumentary about a Goofy movie being like the blackest movie ever made is brilliant.
Yeah,
it is so brilliant. Please, like, if you watch nothing else from Atlanta, watch that episode.
Yeah.
Harry Dad. That's it right there. Goofy.
Harry Dad?
Is Goofy a hairy dad?
Yeah, I think
We were trying to think of what the best hairy dads in media were, like Kratos and Joel from The Last of Us. Is Goofy a hairy dad?
He's hairy.
No,
and he's a dad.
he's the most hairy.
Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your answer right there. But what I will say is like the way it ends is very fitting.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't say anything more.
Yeah, it's always all 4 seasons. Again, I haven't seen the last episode yet, but all 4 seasons.
And this is the final season.
Very,
the show's done.
Yeah, which is kind of incredible. It's almost amazing that the show exists because it is so weird and like takes so many turns and so many risks that shows normally wouldn't take, and sort of tells such a non-linear and non-traditional story. But I think I love it for that. Like that, and you'll have these one-off episodes that dip into other genres. Like you mentioned the Goofy movie one. There's the Teddy Perkins kind of horror episode in season 2, and
right.
just weird shit like the whole invisible car joke that actually has the payoff in the first season. And like ghost stories around Europe in the 3rd season. Just like it's just going to be like a really impressive thing to look back on in Donald Glover's career, which is like. I feel like the sky is the limit.
I'm just super curious what he's planning to do next.
Right.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith for Amazon, a TV show.
I did hear about that. Yeah, he's
starring and developing it.
Like the married spies that try to kill each other.
Yeah, and originally it was going to be him and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the lead from Fleabag, who like they met on the set of Solo because she voiced the robot in Solo that he had sex with, and she became the Millennium Falcon. Is that what happened in that movie?
What?
That is what happened. Right. It sounded like I was joking there, but I'm pretty sure all of those happened in that movie.
Yeah, it was heavily insinuated that Lando was fucking that robot.
Yeah. So they were going to be Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I think she backed down. I think Constance Wu from Crazy Rich Asians is now.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Constance Wu.
Yeah. So
she was in Fresh Off the Boat too.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's reprising his role as Simba because they're making a Lion King Part 2, a live action Lion King Part 2, but it's written and directed by Barry Jenkins, who did Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk, who's like an incredible director who did not need to take this. So and they said it's going to be like modeled after The Godfather Part 2, where half of it's going to be a prequel about young Mufasa. So I'm minorly intrigued.
I did hear I did hear about the young Mufasa part.
Yeah,
changing his whole story at least for like Scar, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to put a lot of emphasis on Scar. There are 2 versions of the young Mufasa. Both of them are kind of stupid. I'll be honest.
Oh man.
Yeah. And it makes like the rest of it look a little dumb if you think about it. So Scar, before he was called Scar, his name was just Taka. The way he got the scar is he tried to do the wildebeest thing to Mufasa the first time, and that's.
I feel like at that point I would have been like, "Let's not."
Yeah, exactly. So then you're like, "Oh, so he did this a second time in The Lion King, and it actually got him." Like any attempt to bring in.
Okay, what lore are you? Where is this lore coming from?
The lore. That's the actual Disney lore for it.
I mean, where?
I googled it somewhere.
Is that in the tie-in novel?
No. Then they made a tie-in novel, and this one is about the Roar of the Lions, where Scar is like he's a royal guard kind of thing. And he gets the Roar of the Lion, so that lets him keep order for everybody. But he gets poisoned by a snake. That corrupts him. And in the end, he's left emaciated and scarred. Oh, and then there's one other one.
What?
All three are from Disney. And then there's this other one where Mufasa's just a dickhead.
I feel like Scar. I've heard of that. I've heard of some backstory where Mufasa is a jerk.
Yeah.
Right.
And like that's why Scar kind of like hates him and grew up not like
that. Doesn't fit his character though. You know what I'm saying?
But
it fits perfectly.
I believe once he has kids, like that's what kind of changes him to be like more benevolent.
Simba was young. He didn't seem like that was a new philosophy he adopted where he thought
Lions the way of life. That long.
Right. I just mean like Simba wasn't that old. It didn't seem like he just developed that. Like Simba just was born. It didn't like he just developed that way of thinking overnight. Mm-hmm. That seemed like something where he kind of was raised that way as well. And that's how I could see the story of Scar going. He was jealous of that Mufasa was next in line, and he would do. Maybe he started out as a good brother, but gradually grew jealous maybe he wanted to. I don't remember what Simba's wife's name was. Maybe he
Nala.
wanted. Right.
Nala.
No, that's not
that's-
Simba's. Mufasa's wife. I'm sorry.
Sarabi.
Sarabi. Yes.
Sarabi.
Maybe he
his
wanted
name.
Sarabi all along, and when Mufasa and her ended up together, he felt some type of that was like the pushing point. Because you see, his first rule of being king was he wanted her by his side. So that gives me some inclination that in the past he wanted that as well. Like he wanted everything his brother coveted, like everything his brother had, he then wanted. So that gives me more perception of who Scar was back then and who Mufasa was, as opposed to Mufasa was a douche all his time, and then Scar just got his just desserts.
Something like
did
that.
not think
I think
we
in
were
the
gonna be
Disney
going there.
version, they're supposed to be orphaned cubs, but somehow still were brothers.
What?
Yeah, they're not really.
Oh, they're like brothers of circumstance.
They could have been like,
something like that. Yeah,
maybe they were
and I'm just
taken in
saying,
by
like,
the same.
this is too much character development that would fit in humans. So it's like something
Right.
happened when they were young, and now that they're like in their 40s and 50s, they're duking it out, kind of Game of Thrones stuff. But I'm like, these are lions. This is happening within like 2-3 years. It's from being juvenile to adolescence. This is like doesn't take much.
I
for
think
lions.
the whole talking line thing, like, and there's magic. So I think at that point we could kind of
There's magic?
yeah,
Well, yeah, I
Rafiki's got
guess-
magic. Yeah, he blows
yeah,
in
I
the
guess
wind.
Rafiki
And,
is
like,
doing
there's
it
like
right.
He blows in the wind. It's
yeah.
What if that was just lion drugs?
lion
Like-
drugs.
It's just so catnip.
the lion drugs,
Yeah.
catnip, jungle catnip. I could fuck with that.
That explains Rafiki.
That could be
a
explained
lot
away.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I 100% believe Mufasa was just a dickhead, though. That he's royalty. He's the 1%. Of course, he's just going to be a dickhead.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I don't know. They're sort of like trying to give reasoning and justifications. Like,
Right.
I was
And they-
okay when I was young to be like, he's super noble. He's a
Right.
dick. That's it.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
the Cruella de Vil thing, where it's like, all right, how are you gonna justify her murdering puppies? Go on,
Right.
Disney. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Did that work? Because I didn't watch
No,
that
it didn't
movie.
work.
it was a
He just
prequel. She doesn't
cried.
start murdering puppies yet.
Yeah,
She gets
she's
a
not-
glint in her eye by the end, though.
Oh, so there's another movie coming that's gonna get to the
Uh,
puppy murder part?
I don't know if
This-
they're gonna do another
She
one.
hasn't been corrupted by the dark side of the Force at this point. She's still
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
No Roar of the Ancients.
Yeah.
Wait, what's Cruella doing that's not evil?
It was just a normal-
She was like
She was a
rising through the fashion
fashionista,
industry.
yeah.
And, yeah. Emma Stone's great. So
What?
Not
He's
gonna,
like,
she
Emma
could kill
Stone's
100 dogs. I wouldn't give a shit.
No. Also, yeah, like what they try with Maleficent. I didn't watch.
oh
that.
yeah,
Okay,
Angela Jolie.
That
was
didn't
alright.
kill
always
a lot of
had-
dogs.
Yeah, Maleficent, I think, always had kind of a
yeah,
I'm okay with that.
she's supposed to have like a
like
tragic.
a logic to her
Yeah.
backstory.
yeah, and that story actually, I didn't like it that much. It was definitely a movie of like, oh wow, this is a great idea. I wish the movie was better.
Yeah.
Right.
But the ideas that they're working with are really cool.
They did that with the Huntsman. Was it
Oh, Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah, where it was kind of the Snow Witch supposedly had like a tragic backstory. The other one was actually her sister or something like that, and that's why it gave some like sad story of why they were the way they were.
Wait a second. They also did this with the Wizard of Oz. Like the musical
Yeah,
Wicked
yeah.
is the backstory for the Wicked
Are
Witch
you
of the West.
are you not familiar with this ongoing trend of trying to give justification backstories to villains that were one-note villains?
No, but
This is a
I'm
huge-
only now realizing how far it's gone back because like it's not new. Like
Oh.
they've been doing
Yeah.
this.
What was the first Star Wars
The first-
prequels?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
The
that's very
TV show
true.
Lucifer.
The TV show.
Lucifer was never. Oh, I got you. Okay, never mind.
I thought you were gonna say Lucifer was never evil, and I was like, disagree. That
I
man's the
mean-
literal devil.
But yeah, but it wasn't.
They
though.
do explain how he was a good angel at first, and he was put in charge of hell, without his, without wanting to,
Yeah,
and
shout
that
out to
kind of is
Lucifer.
what corrupted him. Supposedly,
Wait, are you talking about Lucifer from the Bible or Hades from Greek mythology?
I'm talking about
Well-
Lucifer, the TV show.
Oh, okay, the TV show. Because I think that story is like the Greek mythology story for Hades as well.
Right, where Zeus put him in charge of. Well,
Yeah, he was like, hey, go
they all-
watch the basement.
Right, him,
He's like,
Poseidon,
well, I
and
don't-
Zeus
I watched
Whatever.
the basement.
stopped the Titans and Cronus, and they was like, we're gonna take Olympus. We need someone to keep hell in order. They drew straws. Hades
Yeah.
lost, and it's like, well, it's you,
You could have this shitty dog with 3 heads.
right?
That's the best part.
Get in the basement.
Aw.
You only need 33 of those dogs to make Cruella de Vil's coat.
They're not Dalmatians.
That's a math joke, guys.
Also, they only have one body and 3 heads. There's not that much skin on the heads.
No, that's
That
where most
doesn't
dog
check
fur
out
comes from.
money.
Best dog fur comes from the neck.
Oh, okay. The prime cut of
Noted. I'll remember that.
I want a neck-only dog fur coat.
But that does it in terms of like what I've been watching. So Marty, Jeff, one of you guys want to jump in?
Yeah, I'll go through. I wrapped up my Twin Peaks rewatch, which has been very exciting. That
holds up.
I think it holds
timeless?
up. I think it holds up really, really good. The original, it's a tough watch. It's one of those things that's tough for me to recommend to anyone. Because it is like a very specific wavelength you need to be on to enjoy it, and I think a lot of it might not be like traditionally good. But I love the old stuff from the early '90s. I think like what David Lynch was doing there was so far ahead of the time, and like laying down the groundwork for any kind of serialized mystery box TV show. Like we would never have anything like Lost or The Leftovers or anything without Twin Peaks. And then The Return, I just think it's really cool that 25 years after the show was ostensibly canceled, he got to go back and make one final season. And it's so weird to have all the actors come back, a lot of which almost never had any other roles. So like, like Kyle MacLachlan and shit, like you've seen him and stuff, and Laura Dern, you've seen her and stuff. But like there's a bunch of these actors that like you almost didn't see for 25 years, and they come back, and like the high school kids are now like grown ass adults, and the adults are now just fucking old. And it's like just weird. It's like just like a milestone of like the passing of time. Yeah, really dig it. If you like things with actual endings that wrap things up, this is not one of those. Yeah, I really I really love it. It's a very weird, spooky, uncomfortable, but at the same time like just a really nice and quaint thing about a girl getting murdered. And then so that's finally
Hold on, I know you said that it doesn't wrap things up.
No.
But do they at the very least explain the time gap, or is it one of those things where like they just pick things up and pretend?
Oh
that
no,
everyone's
it's
several
like
years older.
yeah, no, it's like 25 years later. So
Okay.
no, it's not like a direct continuation. It's like what you're kind of piecing together what these characters have been doing for 25 years and
Right, okay.
like where the high schoolers, what happened to them afterwards, and what happened to the main characters and stuff. So yeah, it's not just like I really like the idea of like a 50-year-old having to play a high schooler though. That's
wasn't that like Wet Hot American
Summer.
Summer?
That's exact. They did the exact same thing. Yeah, it's supposed to be like the next summer, but I think that's really funny. And then I'm very sad to say I was pretty disappointed by Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I won't zero spoilers because it just came out. I think it's a really beautiful tribute to Chadwick Boseman, and like how they handle the grief portion of it, I think is like really, really genuine and raw. And that was my favorite stuff in the movie. All the other stuff I think just did not work for me. And it is long. It is almost 3 hours. So when we were talking about shout out to 85-minute movies, this is not an 85-minute movie. And it does not, it feels every minute of its almost 3 hours, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a bummer. Also, I think part of it could be the movie was like some of the scenes, especially a lot of the underwater stuff, was like incomprehensibly dark in my theater, and I'm wondering if it was my theater's fault, although my theater's pretty good, or if just the movie was just really fucking dark. So
I saw that one episode of Game of Thrones and was like, that's
what we need to
can do.
Because, but the thing is, beforehand, preview for Avatar: Way of Water. Big Jim, everything underwater is well lit. So I have full faith that in a month, Big Jim's going to take us back underwater and everything will be fine.
Where did that even come from? Because we were talking about Lord of the Rings earlier. They had that plenty of nighttime fighting, but it was well lit. And then even in Rush Hour, me and my girlfriend was talking about they were stuck in a truck. And I was like, that's very well lit for the back of the truck. When did we just start obsessing with like, oh, it's dark, so it's realistic? It's like I can't see. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know.
Where am I?
The same time everybody got real gritty.
Lampy and King Dad saying
darker.
their theaters look good underwater. So, or their underwater scenes look good in their theaters. Their theaters look good when they were flooded. It was great. So yeah, that maybe that was just bad projection on my theater's part. That doesn't fix a lot of the other stuff, obviously.
Why would it be just those scenes though?
Which ones?
Underwater
I think the underwater scenes
There's
were probably
screen.
they were darker to begin with,
Right.
and so if the projection's wrong, like the daytime stuff would look fine with the wrong projection, but the darker stuff would look too dark, I guess. You saw it in a reference room? What's a reference room, Lampy? That's a British thing.
Lampy works in film industry, so probably before.
Oh,
I thought
reference
Lampy-
room.
I thought Lampy was an MI5 agent.
No, brother.
Yeah,
Probably
you can
also
go.
that.
Lampy is the Pixar lamp.
He's the international man of mystery.
The thing that gets fucking bumped and then. No, I can't. Anytime Lampy's in a chat, I'm gonna picture Lampy.
It's like,
Switches the eye every time. Yeah.
Oh, it's a room that gets calibrated every day. Well, fucking get me a reference room, Lampy. What are we doing?
I was
What are we
thinking
doing?
Is that the reference room is kind of like this is, I guess the Turing test. It's like this is what it should look like when you're playing the movie.
I think that's one of the problems with like the way those night scenes in Game of Thrones are shot is that like in whatever their reference room is, it looks great, but that's because it's a professionally calibrated reference room. Whereas like most of
And
our
not my living
TVs
room?
like aren't. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so yeah, but I mean aside from that, like I just I'll be curious once more folks have seen Wakanda Forever and we can have more of a discussion about it. I think I'll be talking about it with Darren on Tuesday on the recap. So we'll probably
Because I've heard
more portion of it.
2 mixed reviews. One was IGN gave it like a 7.
Mhm.
And then a guy I follow on YouTube, Comics Explain, he said it was like the best Marvel movie in Phase 4, hands down. Like, I mean, like,
Yeah. I feel weird about Phase 4 because I think movie-wise, Phase 4 has been pretty bad.
it's been all over the place.
And I didn't like the movies most people have liked, and the ones I liked were not like. I think my 2 favorite of Phase 4 have been Shang-Chi and the Eternals, which is weird.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I did not like Spider-Man.
I like Spider-Man quite a bit. Actually.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was the best. Every other one fell.
I think that's
flat.
what most people say. Yeah.
Shang-Chi was really good. Shang-Chi was a close second.
Yeah, Spider-Man and Shang-Chi, I think, are probably my two. I forgot Spider-Man was in Phase 4, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I figured as soon as people started bringing up Phase 4, I was like, oh, it's in the gutter. Because no longer are we talking about like what a great Marvel movie, what a great this. It's like compartmentalized good. You know, it's like oh, it's good for Phase 4. I was like,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Is all Phase 4 trash?
I think some of their TV stuff has worked though. I really like Loki. I really like
Agreed.
Miss Marvel. I really like Werewolf by
WandaVision.
Night.
Yep.
Yeah,
Werewolf by Night was really good.
WandaVision. I'm looking forward to the Guardians holiday special in like a week or 2. So, yeah. So that's where I was with Black Panther. Also, I didn't get a chance to watch the Pixar Star Wars short yet. Not Pixar. Sorry, Studio Ghibli.
Tell. That one. It's only like 3 minutes. It's definitely
Okay.
short.
Okay, I probably should have been able to watch.
Shout
it
out to 3-minute
probably
movies.
I thought the 3 minute only better than 85-minute movies. 3-minute movies.
Credits
I
and all.
haven't turned on Disney Plus in such a long time. Like, otherwise, I probably would have just seen that it was 3 minutes and just watched it.
You
But like,
need to watch Andor. Everyone needs to watch Andor.
Yes.
I'll watch
Yes.
it.
Andor-
I don't
Andor
want
is-
to.
You can't tell
Andor-
him anything.
I think at this point, this is going to sound crazy. I think Andor is the best Star Wars ever.
Yeah.
I don't
I think
know
Andor
about
is better
that's
than
not
Empire
that
and
high a
Jedi.
bar.
Yeah, in my opinion, but I think
Better than
it's
Empire
really,
Strikes Back?
I think it's better than Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I think it's
Yes.
really good.
Empire Strikes Back is one of the best Star Wars movies, but it's still not that great of a movie.
Well,
Wow.
I think it's doing a lot of things that a lot of movies and shows from the Star Wars universe don't do. It's touching on a lot of things that, we might wonder how things were when the Empire took over. Like, it's definitely giving you that, like, space Nazi feeling, which is what, George Lucas was going for. It gives you that feeling of, they took over and pretty much doing whatever they wanted to do, trampling over everything, and under the guise of, we're doing what's right for peace and such. So it definitely does a great job of highlighting the politics, which a lot of people thought were going to be born from like episode Revenge of the Sith. I think that was, yeah. But it's actually very interesting. Like, smiling on one hand and having to turn your face and show who you really are on the other hand. It just does a great job at those things.
Lampy says Star Wars needs to die to give way to original sci-fi stories.
Yeah.
I would have agreed with you a few months ago. I
If
think Andor like I think I need to like probably like back away. I think Andor is better than The Expanse. I think Andor might be the best science fiction thing since like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Better than okay.
Dude, I will watch.
Okay, now you're piquing my interest right now because The Expanse is one of the best sci-fi things I've ever seen. And then I saw Foundation, which is probably up there with The Expanse right now. So you're telling me Andor is at that level of sci-fi while being based in the Star Wars?
Because the thing is,
that's what you're telling me.
It's the reason it's good isn't the sci-fi. The
Right.
reason it's good is because of like the character work and
Yeah,
like the little
all right.
mini arcs. Like it has the most exciting. It's like a 3-episode Prison Break arc. That's my favorite Prison Break ever. Like it's like overwhelming how good it is. I am whelmed.
Yeah, I
I've been
agree.
whelmed too much. Jesse's just shaking his head.
I don't want to see it because like there's two scenarios. One, I don't like it, and then I have to put up with counteracting I don't like it, and everybody going, but it's so great.
Right.
It's like here's
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
don't like it, and they're like, I hate you or whatever.
Easier to say
Two.
you just didn't see it, right?
Yeah, or it is really good, and then I have to admit that sometimes if you get enough creative people and give them leeway and let them actually tell a story, not mandated by marketing and corporate, but it's attached to Star Wars, and now I have to admit that a Star Wars is something good, and then it's like, well,
For
it's a
shame.
lose-lose.
I respect that, honestly. I respect that.
I mean, just based on that, I'll watch it just for the conversation of like,
Yeah.
I don't mind being like, yo, I was like you too. Come on, it's fine. The water's fine, or just like, it's just more hyped up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll
Like,
watch just
I've
based on that.
Yeah, I've always liked Star Wars as like a setting, and I like a lot of the imagery and a lot of the stuff in it. I like Star Wars stuff. A lot of the stories they've told have just not been good. Like just front to back, not been good. Like I really love the Clone Wars stuff. That era I think is the most interesting era.
Yeah.
Like much more interesting than the actual like episode 1, 2, 3 era. So Andor is like tangential to that era, right? Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's like
Right
5 years
after-
before A New Hope. So post Clone War, it's like the Rebels era. If you ever watched Rebels,
All right, so I can believe that they could tell a really interesting
Yeah.
story in that space because that's where all the interest
also
lies.
they have, this isn't a spoiler. They haven't said the word Jedi. They haven't shown a lightsaber. They haven't said the Force.
What the
This
hell
is
am
like-
I getting myself into?
You know, it's
Because I like those things. Like I like the Jedi. I like those things. I think those things are cool. So like yeah, I should probably not even consider it Star Wars. It sounds like when going into this, like just hey, go watch this cool.
I mean,
spy
almost honestly, yeah.
story.
Like consider it like a
Wow.
cool little political story in a
Yeah.
vaguely
Like we should-
sci-fi setting.
Like we should just make room for original sci-fi. Yeah,
Oh,
that's a good idea.
You have to rehash everything. I hope I don't feel like I do with the Joker, where I was like, if it wasn't for the IP, this is just a Scorsese film. This is
If you can
Taxi
remove-
Driver.
yeah,
This is-
yeah.
this is-
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. See,
But we all heard Zaslav's mandate.
Great.
More IP.
I'm just,
Zaslav.
I'm just
Even more IP, says
It
Zaslav.
sounds like it'll hit in that spot I've wanted, brought by Force Unleashed. Where I was like, that's more so what I want, just like a very structured story where everything is you're sort of that character is a vessel for lore of like what the hell happened since
Yeah,
since
yeah.
the takeover and that. I don't know, the later Star Wars stuff has become very Marvel to me. So, and it seems like the way to get me back in is to go, oh, it's like it's nothing like it. It just happens to be in the same world. I was like, God dang it. Let's make a new thing then.
Yeah, I like this idea. Make a new thing.
But yeah, no.
But what if that new thing was based on a book from several years ago?
most things are.
As long as it's not a Star Wars.
Yeah,
book.
nothing's a new thing. You can't be like make a new thing
Yeah,
like
like, it's
Foundation
hard.
or The Expanse because those aren't
Right.
new things.
They're not new,
different
but they're
IP.
good. They're so good.
It's like that.
But there,
shit
no.
game.
I love The Expanse. I haven't watched Foundation yet, but I love.
Wait,
The
what is Foundation? Because like
It's an Isaac Asimov adaptation.
Mm.
oh, okay.
Agatha's brother. I got you.
I don't know what that means.
Agatha
Expanse.
Harkness.
Agatha Asimov.
Yeah, like, well, like I don't know. I don't know what that means. So does that wrap things up for you, Marty?
Yes.
All right, Jeff. What have you
I haven't
been
watched
watching?
anything, so that was quick.
What?
All right, good
No.
talk, everybody.
This is like a 3-minute the Yoda short.
Yeah. I love it, Jeff. You're on it. This is great.
I watched Maddie. Marty said Maddie. Marty said I
Maddie.
watched. I watched Andor. Andor was really good. Prison sequence, the breakout, everything leading up to Rogue One. This is where we are. Like I think all the actors in this are very, very good. Um, I don't want to say the most recent actor that showed up because that kind of could be a spoiler, could not be a spoiler. But the just how like patriotic they are about the rebellion. Like there's some manifestos. There's um, like I said before, people one way, in public and have to be another way behind them, always watching behind their back, always wondering if the empire's on to them, if they know what's going on. And then there's the underlining thing where, everything is part of somebody else's plan. Like I think it's just very, 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 very good. Um, Aside from Andor, I've been watching Chainsaw Man. That's been really good.
Nice.
How many episodes are out?
A couple, 5, 6.
Like 2? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
5, 6.
because I watched the
5,
first
6.
episode and that felt like a month ago.
Right. I was sleeping on it when I first saw like Chainsaw Man. I like,
And,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bad title.
Yeah, like,
but it gets to the point, I guess.
yeah. I'm like, okay, like, what is this? I mean, whatever. I gave it a shot and watched it, and I was pleasantly surprised. I think it's very cute and very dark as well. Um,
Great combo.
yeah, it is definitely is. It's
Very
it's-
cute dog with a chainsaw on its head.
Oh yeah, what's his name? Poochie or Punchito?
Also, no one's making
Pochita.
a coat out of that boy because he
You
don't
know.
fucking chainsaw.
Like Cruella can try.
Yeah.
more images I see of this, the more I'm like, what am I getting myself?
Yeah,
into?
well, you look at it, you're like what is this? And I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. It was on Hulu. I watched it, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. It's pretty dark, but like I said, kind of cute, but also very dark, very gory, but not like just for the sake of being gory. Like it makes sense because one has a chainsaw, and if he's cutting things that bleed, then there's going to be a lot of different stuff.
It's the new Tokyo Ghoul.
Exactly. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
All right.
Don't say that because
No,
I hate
well,
Tokyo Ghoul.
I love Tokyo Ghoul, but what I mean by that is this has a lot more. If Tokyo Ghoul's writing aged to the way it should be today, I think a lot of writing from old, like certain anime, don't Bleach. One of them, Bleach from old times. The writing just a lot of the tropes don't translate well to today's standards of how anime writing should be, like Demon Slayer and such. Like I don't think it holds up very well. But back then it was relatively good. But I think this is like I don't know, it's hard to give it a comparison. It's like Tokyo Ghoul in some aspects where there's like obviously devils and stuff and demons and stuff like that. But like as far as like the writing is very good. The interactions between the characters, I enjoy. I haven't met a character I didn't like yet, which is really good.
Good guys and bad guys.
Good guys and bad guys. Here's the thing. Right now, we're in the stages where it's that early part. You don't really necessarily know who there's not a big bad guy yet. You have your episode bad guys right now. We don't know who the big bad is. We're not there yet. But like, also some people who are good, you don't know if they're necessarily going to be the bad guy to the main character. Like you don't know that yet.
Real quick, Rickbo says, I mean, in terms of titles, I mean, it could have been The Day I Woke Up as a personification of a chainsaw.
That would have been good. That would have been good.
Yeah, that's more fitting.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that does work.
And Wraithful says maybe comparable to Devilman Crybaby. I haven't watched Chainsaw Man.
Yep. See, Devil May Cry to me always felt flat. Yeah, it always felt flat. Like it just.
Wait, Devilman Crybaby, not Devil May Cry.
No, it's a Devil
Devil
May
Man
Cry,
Cry.
baby. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. It always felt flat. It just never did anything for me. Even the ones when it crossed over with the cyborgs, when I was cyborg super.
Oh, Devilman versus 009.
Right. When they did the crossover like that, like Devil May Cry baby just never hit home for me.
Well, that was a different. Did you watch like just the regular Devil
I
May
watched
Cry
the regular
baby
one.
series?
Mhm.
I thought
Okay.
it just felt super grimdark to me. Like I was like,
Yeah, that one was rough. I did like it though, and I'm usually not into stuff that's kind of that
Yeah.
gory, but I liked it.
It wasn't the gore, just like I don't know, just the characters didn't like. I don't know. Just didn't do anything for me. They just were like,
It's fair.
You know.
felt a little off with that one. Everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it changed my life. It was so touching." And I watched a bit of it, and I was just like, "Great." Maybe I was
Wait,
raised
Devilman
on the
Crybaby
streets.
touched their life because they were touching.
Yeah, apparently it was like super, what was it? It was super sentimental, super sad, and all this other stuff going on.
Are
in
they
there.
serial killers?
I guess, right? I don't know, but they're like, "Oh, it's so exciting," and it was crazy, and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I didn't.
Crazy is the right word. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't connect with like a single thing on that show. Like,
Yeah.
I burned through it all, and I'm like, this felt like a waste of time for me because I got like nothing out of this. Felt like empty calories.
Yeah, I can see that. That's kind of how I felt.
All right. But
So
did that do it for you, Jeff? Or you
no, I got a couple.
You got more anime.
Got a couple.
You started this with "I have seen nothing," and we were all like,
That's all I know,
"Good
buddy.
job being the 3-minute Pixar short," and now you're coming in with number 3.
I gotta think
of things you've seen.
I gotta think of a couple. You know, I'm trying to fill it out a little bit. Yeah. Rings of Power. I finished that. That was really good. Rings of Power was good.
I haven't finished it yet.
Ooh, no spoilers.
It's so good though so far.
It is.
Like we're like 7 episodes in or whatever. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. I love the world.
See,
I love the
Marty's
way.
eyes getting big.
Marty. What do you think?
Marty hates it.
In the words of the immortal Thumper, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Oh man.
Bambi.
Just eyes getting bigger. Like,
No. I didn't hate Rings of Power. I had a bad comparison because I was watching it at the same time as House of the Dragon, which I just enjoyed a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be
Really?
I
honest.
haven't watched House of Dragons.
I'll be honest. I don't know what it is. I think I like Rings of Power more than House of the Dragons.
See,
I have a bad opinion.
because I did the same thing. We started House of the Dragon and Rings of Power at the same time, and I dropped off House of the Dragon because I didn't like it. But I'm absolutely loving Rings of Power.
Yeah, Rings of Power I feel is very
total
good.
opposite.
I was worried about it because it was gonna be Lord of the Rings adjacent to where they couldn't tell the exact story, so they just had to tell like sort of a retelling of it, which worried me. Like, how are you gonna tell this story without necessarily owning all the rights to it? So that worried me at first, but the more I watched it, the more I was like, I didn't care about not that I didn't care, I didn't compare it to what I thought from the book and the lore and what the story actually was. Some of the best relationships in the show is between certain dwarves and certain elves, like the relationships between each character. Like, I love that relationship. It's just so good.
Stuff with Elrond and Durin was far and away my favorite thing of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think House of the Dragon is the better show if we're talking about like critique them. But I like Rings of Power more, even if it is more of that like I think Darren called it very 2000s TV shows, mystery boxes and spinning your wheels and but, like the parts where it gets me more than House of the Dragon. But House of the Dragon, I'm like, yeah, better writing for sure. Better pacing so far and all that. But
More sister kissing.
More sister kissing. More live birthing.
There's always a plus on this hemisphere.
All that good stuff.
It's got so much more sister. It's almost overwhelming how much sister kissing that show has.
But yeah, it's very good. Like you said, I didn't. Elrond and Durin's relationship is even Durin's relationship with his wife. I think.
Oh yeah.
Really,
Anytime we're in Casa Doom, I'm like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, like that's
that
my
whole show
favorite
in
place.
Casa Doom.
You know, even though I know what's happening, we know what's going to happen to Casa Doom, but I still enjoy being there.
Don't name your place with Doom at the end of it because that's not good. You got Mount Doom, you got Casa Doom. These are all bad places.
It's like spelled with a U or something. It's fine.
Yeah, but it's all the pronunciation. It's like a U, but it's got like a mark above it. It gives it the ooh.
Right.
Although calling it Casa Dumb would be pretty funny.
Casa Dumb.
That still got me though. You missed my wedding.
Yeah,
right.
God, that was so good.
Right.
I was just there like, oh.
Yeah, it's like he's like, and it makes sense. Like they've never touched on that before. Where 20 years for an elf is like the blink of an eye.
Yeah,
he might feel like I just saw you last week kind of situation, but to him that's almost a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? He might have, so that was very like much, an eye awakening. And I think that's some of the same correlation between Andor and Rings of Power, where they're touching on things that haven't necessarily been touched on before and doing them very well, which, makes it such a good show without, some of the things that we would expect from a Lord of the Rings or from a Star Wars show. And that's it for me. That's it.
All right, nice. With that, we can move on to games.
Games.
All video
How
games.
far are we go? We are an hour and 17
We are.
minutes
We're
in.
pretty far in.
Everyone only gets
keep
one
the game
game.
stuff a little shorter.
One game, you just talk
The
about
one game
thing.
you enjoyed, you can talk about that.
No repeats.
Anybody want to jump in that case?
I love Sonic Frontiers.
Ooh. How good is it?
So
I'm not ashamed.
You're
of
no
it.
longer in like a gray area.
I'm
You're
not
like,
ashamed of
"Shit,
it.
people
I don't think
still
it's
love
good.
it."
I don't think it's good, but I love it.
Oh,
It's
I'm just
dumb,
really-
it's ugly, you love it.
It's dumb. It's ugly. I love it. It's like an old sick dog that I just like. I just want to hang out with. No, I think it is. I think it's a major swing for the fences that doesn't necessarily connect, but I love and appreciate it, and I really enjoy it. And I would put it in the same category as Twin Peaks, where it's a thing I would not recommend a lot of people, even though I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
That's three things this year of like you love but wouldn't recommend: Twin Peaks, this Sonic, Immortality.
And Immortality.
Mad God.
Immortality is good though. And Mad God. Oh my God, this is everything.
Five things.
What is wrong with myself? I think of that stuff, Immortality is the best. Casey's just wrong. It's fine.
Immortality led me down a path. It gave me an ending, showed me credits, and I knew nothing about. Well, I mean, I knew some because they were teasing it because I played like 11 hours of that game. But by the time they said that the game told me I was done with the game, gave me a little pop for achievements or whatever, I did not know the end of that story.
oh wow.
And so, like, that's the game's fault. That's not my fault. Because a lot of folks was like, oh, you must not have known anything. Like, no, I know that there was a thing. The game didn't let me see it. And part of that is because it didn't direct me to play with a controller, which apparently would have helped a lot with some of that stuff. I played with a mouse and keyboard.
Lord, you played with a mouse and keyboard, if only because like
But it's
Rumble
'cause I
was so important.
I was playing with my fiance next to me, so we were doing it together. So we also didn't have headphones on because there was a sound cue that helps you find some of those secrets by wearing headphones. I was playing off the TV speakers. If that's that important to the way your game controls, you need to communicate that.
I didn't
Like
even know
Senua Hellblade Senua Sacrifice tells you play this game with headphones on.
Yeah. Also,
Because like there's a lot of stuff that helps you.
I want to do a little pushback. You're allowed to play a game next to a loved one using a controller.
Yeah, but it didn't work to pass it back and forth as easily.
Oh,
What do you
you guys
mean?
were passing it back and forth. Okay, sorry.
Right.
I thought you were just like we were on the
Actually,
couch
it wasn't like just
together. So
watching.
I couldn't.
No.
I was like,
Like we were playing it together.
Gotcha.
Because we played the previous ones from I'm forgetting his name, but we played like
her story, Sam Barlow, her story, and telling lies.
together and stuff like that. So like, yeah, she was into it when I told her, oh, this is the next game and I got to review it. So I don't know.
Why
It's-
couldn't you
I think
pass
my
the
opinion is
controller?
valid.
I'm just curious. I'm still on that. That's where I am.
Because I'm playing it on PC.
Right.
It's a game where you have to scroll through video.
Okay.
Like that's the premise.
Right.
So it made sense that this is a game that actually works better with a mouse because you're pointing and clicking at stuff in the scene rather than trying to move a stick. So if they had just told me in the beginning, hey, maybe play this with a controller, I'd absolutely listen to that.
Yeah, and it's because without spoiling, it's because slight rumbling is necessary to unlock sort of secrets, and the secrets
So
that
like
help.
you get closer to
play.
something and it starts to kind of
Yeah,
Right, yeah,
yeah.
and clues.
And then
stuff.
also
sound
there's
cues
this
as
like
well.
humming noise that unless you're either in a completely silent room or you have it loud enough or you're wearing headphones, you might also miss. So if you miss both of those clues because of the way Casey was playing, because the game didn't tell him, which I wonder if that's the thing that got patched, because it feels
would
like
hope so.
that should just be a thing right at the beginning. Like this game,
Yeah.
we suggest you
Yeah, it's
use
not
a
a new
controller
thing.
and
Like,
headphones.
other games have done that
I played-
sort of thing before. Like, hey,
Yeah.
use a controller for this game, use headphones for this game.
Pretty sure. I wouldn't say it got patched to the point where it's like play it on controller, but it in the tutorial it'll tell you both mouse and controller movements. But it
Well,
doesn't-
using
it doesn't
movements with the
suggest-
mouse is fine, but it's just you don't get that tactile
Yeah,
feedback
no,
that you
it doesn't-
need
it doesn't
to
do
sort
that
of.
thing that indie games are like, this game was meant for controller, this game was meant
Yeah,
for mouse and keyboard,
yeah.
which I love that.
Yeah.
Do they have mice with Rumble?
They
I
got
think
it
so,
right.
but like they're like
You could
stupid.
shake
That
your
does like
hand
your
around.
cursor stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine playing a shooter. You play your cursor.
What you need is actually the rumbling keyboard, because then it'll still stay steady, and then you can
A
move.
rumbling mechanical keyboard is just the loudest chattering noise imaginable.
Sounds like a freaking Cinnabite.
Out the Cinnabites getting 2 pulls this stream. Good
Yeah.
for you, Cinnabites.
Okay. So Marty's game was Sonic.
Sonic Frontiers, thumbs up, and I'll be streaming more of it with Amy. Will be starting it in 2 hours for newly released. I'll be joining her.
Nice.
Yep.
I can go next. I wanted to talk about Honkai Impact, which is a stupid gacha game. But I actually don't want to talk about that anymore because I played another stupid gacha game, which isn't actually that stupid. Mega Man X Dive.
Oh, that's the Mega Man. You said you were playing Mega Man before this. I didn't know what Mega Man.
Yeah, it's a freaking gacha game that is basically pulling all the lore, the settings, like the characters and stuff from the entire Mega Man X series and dumping them into this sort of roguelite gacha system where like you go through like these little mini levels that take pieces of Mega Man levels, take enemies from Mega Man levels and remix them and like just throw them anywhere.
What is it called? Mega Man what?
Mega Man X Dive.
I'm saying it.
Or Rockman X Dive. Apparently it was made by Capcom Taiwan.
Yep. I got mixed reviews.
Yeah, it's got mixed reviews. But it's because I haven't played a ton of it just yet, but like I really like what I've seen so far because it feels like Mega Man. Like you get access to a lot of like those skills that you get by, doing the whole Metroidvania-esque loop. You get access to all of that at the beginning, but it turns your progression into an RPG where like they'll give you like a new blaster that has like different properties, different stats, and then you can equip that, you can level that up. They'll give you like different armor. They'll give you different characters, I believe, down the line. But then it has the gacha mechanic, whereas like they'll ask you for money to basically like do more pulls so you can get like more or rarer items or whatever. So like it's completely free to play. You don't have to spend this money. But if you're doing these levels, going through these days or whatever, like you'll get currency and then you can spend that to like do pulls.
How much did you spend?
Like I didn't spend anything because I literally only played it for like maybe 45 minutes.
I love this.
But
I was looking through it. A lot of negative reviews are like 60 hours in, 100 hours in. This game was fun when it started.
Oh my god!
That's why I ignored the mixed reviews thing because there people who get really into these gacha games like Genshin Impact, for example, they hate how hard it is to complete the collection. But they are absolutely addicted to trying to complete the collection.
Right.
Like, I don't care about getting every single thing in that game. All I care about is if the loop that they're providing is actually fun. And this game is a more simplified version of Mega Man X. Like, you get access to all the skills. They even auto-aim his Buster Cannon for you when you're running around. So, like, you're doing the shooting, but, like, he'll target and, like, aim, like, up and around him. You can even move backwards while shooting forwards because of that. And like they put like his charge beam on a different button so you can start the charge and that's on a cooldown and you can still fire like your little lemons like you always do, but then release the charge shot whenever you want. Okay. So like they really kind of remix the controls in a way that make a lot of sense for like a modern Mega Man X game. And they play around with just the settings. So like I'm actually really excited to play a lot more of this and see how deep it goes. Because right now I'm still in like the opening level for Mega Man X. Like that's what all the stages look like. That's what most of the enemies are coming from. But they threw like some Mega Man X3 bosses in there for me to fight at some point, and it was fun. Like, it's a good time. I like it. That's the end.
Very cool.
Yeah, Mega Man X Dive. Check it out. That's my game.
494 hours not recommended.
Holy crap!
Oh man,
that's insane. Like it may have the potential to actually like hook me deep. Like if I start to really like the stuff they throw, because like I didn't play for that long, and they had like an on rails level where like I'm on top of a truck going down that highway from the first level, and like stuff is just pulling up next to me, enemies are showing up on other trucks and like stuff coming out of the sky. Like it was really fun to like fool around in that space. Is this game Casey's Marvel Snap? It might be.
See, everyone has a Marvel Snap. You just got to find the right property. If there was like a gotcha Cenobite game, Jesse'd be all over it.
I just started Marvel Snap. Just started it.
Cody.
All right, so yeah, anybody else want to share their game that they've been playing or games? You can say more than one game if you really want to.
I'm gonna stick. Okay, I'm gonna mention 2 games and then I'm gonna choose my real one. I promise. One, Evil Dead. And got to play that a couple times last couple of weeks.
Free on Epic.
It will be free on Epic next week, which is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up.
Yep.
Yeah, like next week it'll be free on Epic. So if you're looking to get it, pick it up. But you don't want to pay money, pick it up then. It is better than when it released. They did do some patching.
Nice.
They did some cool weather effects. They have been continually adding new stuff. So I think it is better than when it released. And if you don't want to buy it, get it next week. It's worth a free for sure. I finished Inscription, which is really fun. And but the thing I actually want to talk about, I'm gonna say Dead by Daylight because I got slightly roped in to doing the tournament. So
There's a tournament?
yeah, there's a tournament for like normal plebs.
In game or
Yeah, in the game. So like someone brought up that they were like, "Hey, we should do a team over in my Discord." And so now I'm on team Deebs and the Scrubs. And our plan of going into this tournament is have fun, wing it, get knocked out in round 1. That's our plan, and that is the kind of tournament level commitment I am here for.
So you guys want to be knocked out in round 1? Like if you happen to get past round
Right.
1, does that like spoil the fun?
No,
Like,
like
okay.
it'll be fun. Like if we
won
make
it, damn.
look, my goal is like if I can get, I'm not even sure I'm playing killer. I think I am. If I can get a hook, like that's victory for me. Like that is my level of like this is a tournament. But like I'm interested in seeing who does these things. I'm interested in like interacting with some of these people. I'm interested in like meeting the people that do a tournament. I'm interested in the semantics and just the experience of it. But the goal is not to win. And like that's a hard thing to find in people that enter tournaments.
Right.
How do you?
So-
I don't understand. How are
I
you
can
a
see that.
team, but you're going to play the killer? Isn't there only one killer?
It's a team of 5. So you have 4 people that are going to be survivors and one person that's going to be the killer. The survivors go against another team's killer.
Gotcha.
And
gotcha,
then
gotcha.
your team's killer goes against another group survivor.
Gotcha.
I saw a lot of the side esports thing with like Otstarva and all of them that were establishing that. So if anything, I'm just amazed that Behavior put it into the game, right?
Yeah, it's cool that it's like a client side thing.
Yeah, because I always thought you need to have a space for your competitive players and for your casual players, but not mixed together. And DBD
Right.
has no way to segregate that. So like their community is rancid. They're all on each other's faces. I just want to have a good time. It's like, well, it's not fun to lose. Well, killers suck. Well, survivors suck, and they just eat each other alive. And I'm like, DBD, separate them or do something, dude. There's just no separate space for that. And I would like to see more of that and stuff, and like COD. You know, like I miss game battles because it was a way to separate the sweaties and the casuals. And I'm just seeing this almost like instead of making a fun game, we're gonna make a competitive game because for some people that's almost like a default kind of
Right.
fun where it's like I want to beat somebody. No, it's not fun, but it makes me feel something that's kind of like fun. You know?
Lampy brings up, Frost, you might be playing the wrong DBD or playing with the
Oh,
wrong
I
people.
don't even- I
Yeah,
don't
that's
even- I
there.
don't even play. I just watch y'all.
If you just watch, I will say the voices that are the loudest are often the ones that are complaining. But the overwhelming majority of people that you interact with won't even communicate with you. Like they're just people out to do the thing, and then you say GG and you get nothing back, and that's fine. But like playing it fairly regularly, there are more positive experiences than negative ones. I will definitely say. And that the negative ones are very loud.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm just
And people are, and it's a bit of an in joke where like in the DBD channel on my server, like we'll definitely post when someone's being toxic just to be like, haha, this. But it's like, again, understanding that's like a more rare experience than like, me when I was running I was getting footage for the laughing gas clown video that I was making. And like one of the streamers I went against was live. And I got to ask her, like, hey, can I use your footage for this video? And she was like, yeah. And now I have like a whole section of that video that's just cutting between us and like hearing her and her brother complaining about, is this guy cheating? How's he moving so quickly? When like my whole build was built around moving faster than people expect. Like, so it was really fun.
That's cool.
And like, that's honestly,
Yeah, I like the love that the community seems to have around Dead by Daylight. I don't like that gameplay. I'm just not a fan of the hide and seek formula.
Mhm.
So Not interested. Sorry. So that was Jesse's game.
Yeah.
We have Frost and Jeff. Before we can wrap this thing up, what do you guys want to share?
Get in here.
Round one.
Get in there, Jeff. I got a little more time.
Pretty simple. I've been playing multiverses with the new Black Adam release. That's been a lot of fun.
Black Adam. They added Black Adam to the game.
Yeah,
Is it Black Adam or is it The Rock?
It's definitely Black Adam. They didn't go for the Rock's look. I guess they couldn't afford that. But they did the Black Adam's traditional elf ears look. So I did that. It's a lot of fun. I do like that it does keep the game fresh. They're always releasing new characters like almost every 2 or 3 weeks in the season. So that's
really,
yeah. Like
who's coming next?
I don't know. You don't know. So like with Black Adam and Stripe from Gremlins, they were in the initial promo for season 1, but they were the last 2 to come out towards the end of the season. So like before then we got Morty, we got Rick, we got what's his name from Gremlins? The little
Gizmo.
Gizmo, yes, there we go. We got Gizmo.
So Gizmo and Stripe are both in the game as separate characters.
Yes.
Gizmo's a little cutie and Stripe's like a real ass gremlin.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they pulled 2 gremlins.
You're the gremlin.
Well, Gizmo's not a gremlin. Okay, he's a Mogwai. Mogwai? Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes. So let's be correct.
I apologize to the Mogwai.
You should have for the Mogwai community.
Exactly. So that it's been keeping the game very fresh. They do need to add more maps. I do think they're very slow with them with the stages. I can't say maps, but stages. Like there's not a lot of stages, and some of the stages that are there aren't very good. Like the mansion one is more like you can knock people to the sides almost. There's like opening doors on the end of it, but there's a ceiling for it. Like that's just not very fun. Then there's they just came out with like an alpha for the rank mode, so I've been doing that. They released the arcade, which is kind of like just like a single player experience, almost like an arcade mode. So you go in, you fight different enemies.
Like one-on-ones, or is it like kind of weird scenarios?
One-on-ones, some of them have weird scenarios, and there's levels to it. There's like difficulties to it. There's easy, medium, and hard. So easy is like it's like a level 3 CPU with no perks on. The medium, slowly higher difficulty, more perks, and then hard is a max level character with a bunch of perks and stuff on. So it does make it a little bit harder. They definitely need to fix there's a lot of rollback on it where I'll be like in one spot and think I'm in one spot. Next thing I know, I might be off the map somehow without any inclination of exactly what happened. And in close matches, that's win or loss. I mean, that's pretty much a loss, which is weird because it's not lag. It's definitely rollback because like this game isn't very like graphically, it's not pulling a lot. So it's just very weird that there's so much rollback on it. But no.
It's probably because since it's a free-to-play game and it's cross-platform on like everything other than mobile, at least I'm pretty sure it's not on mobile. It's probably just shit kid connections.
Yeah, that could be it. But it's very consistent, which is the bad part. But constant new characters, very good. You can pretty much get them with in-game currency. It's not super hard to get in-game currency. And so I haven't had to use any real money for a character in the game. The only thing I bought that was like real money was like a skin for Superman, but that was it.
All right, nice. I'm glad you're still having a good time with that, and I'm glad they're still adding the stuff to it because like I kind of forgot it was a thing. Like I like that it's a thing. But I might check out like that arcade mode or something.
This Black Adam looks like Mark Strong in Sherlock Holmes, like straight up.
They couldn't use the Rock's version because his contract said that he has to get as many punches as anyone else. You can't do that.
He couldn't lose to any other character. We'll just use the.
We can't control that, sir.
I will not let Shaggy punch me more than I punch Shaggy.
Good. So all right, Frost. Let's close close us out here.
What we got here? All right. After the lovely game night where we played a bit of Overwatch, I was like, all right,
Ooh,
I'm gonna try.
yeah.
I'm gonna try some of the rank because what was it? I enjoyed myself in the first one and got up to a pretty high rank. And I'm more interested to just see what the ranking system is like than actually getting a high rank, right? So I went in there, and I'm liking the changes so far. It's like lowered crowd control. I'm about it. Sombra still is annoying, but then I'm just here like. My issue that I take with a lot of multiplayer games is that you can do everything else right, but you can still fail on the social aspect. So I think my final feeling on that is Overwatch 2 feels about as good as Overwatch 1, a little bit better as far as the game mechanics that annoyed me, but it fails way worse in the social aspect because my only tank will pick Hamster or Doomfist and just fuck off.
right.
That's it. Before, if you had one useless tank, you yourself could like have one decent tank, but now it's just like that's it. You are at the mercy of this guy that's going, hey, I'm Doomfist and I ain't nowhere near nobody. That's like, all right. I'm sure there was a thought there. I don't think it's fully mature that I want to bring out here, but it's a different study of like there's different game philosophies, design philosophies that need to be taken into account because a lot of multiplayer games are like that. Where I'm like, this feels good, this feels nice. The social aspect is a complete dumpster fire. I will have nothing to do with it. So it's nice to hear that games like DBD are taking a step to be like, here, take all that sweaty fun stuff, enjoy here, you know, and. So yeah, Overwatch got all that, and the casuals are still just like a big old mismatch of whatever. But that's pretty much all I've been doing. As it's been getting colder, I feel like playing less things and watching more, you know, more shows and all that good stuff. We did just play.
Is that like a winter thing for you? You tend to like
I
you
think so.
you hibernate by watching instead of playing.
Yeah,
All bundled up.
Like
Yeah,
all
no, I
bundled
get
up
I get
and
it.
whatnot.
Yeah,
I don't know what
I
it
feel
is.
like playing something would warm you up more than watching something, though.
No, because
I
my
mean,
hands are
it's hard to
exposed.
get under a blanket when you're playing, you know?
Yeah, give my snuggie.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Snuggie or something.
It's
Nah.
it's easy to play something well under a blanket if you use a controller.
It's true.
I don't want to be moving. I just want to like stay seated. A little
But
popcorn.
moving gets you hot.
But I feel like winter is also like you do a bunch of little like old bear naps. You can't be doing bear naps while you're playing a game, but you can do like a bear nap while watching The Watcher or whatever.
Right.
Or The Witcher.
Oh God.
Or Witcher.
Exactly. Like my girlfriend's saying, you need to finish The Witcher 3, which I need to get to, but we're already hitting into the
Oh
cold.
man, I just started back playing that.
There you go. And
After
I'm
taking a
like,
break.
can't we just watch The Witcher? Take a dad nap while watching The Witcher. Yeah, so my gaming is a little light on that, especially with working on Cold Take as well. So I got Overwatch 2, and then Marty and I played We Who Are About to Die, which gets added to my Rogue collection, but it's definitely one of those, like, 3 years from now, I'll look through my Rogues and be like, what I got here? Oh, yeah, that was interesting.
But
when
yeah,
it
I
first
remember
came out.
that.
Yeah, let's see if they put a little more into the foundation that they had. So, yeah, very light on the games there.
All right. Jeff, are we losing you? Get a lot of
Did you
static coming from you.
Did you
You
turn
want
a
a static?
shower on next to you?
You pouring a seltzer?
Oh my bad, I don't know.
Making drinks under
Are you
the table.
pouring a seltzer?
Yeah, just a little.
There's a mid-morning
But,
seltzer.
You know, one of those. But I think that's gonna do it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed this more casual episode. So when the news is weaker, maybe we'll go back to doing this sort of thing where we just expound on media, because it's always fun.
Yeah, and I got one of these too. Those Tokyo treat
that?
boxes.
Oh, you like
Akiba
those?
Adventure.
Yeah,
Sponsored?
because I like candy and other cultural thingies and whatnot. And they just a box full of like Japanese candies and ramen and stuff. That's fun.
Does ramen count as candy?
Yeah, dude, they have candy
Sweet
ramen.
ramen.
Candy ramen. Is that real?
they be-
I'm actually curious.
Yeah, they do.
I'm
It
very
sounded like a
gullible.
lie.
I'll believe what you said.
They have like dried ramen too. It's like a almost like a chip type situation.
Yeah, that guy.
And you just like, oh, wait, are you being serious?
What?
I know I'm not very serious very often, but I'm being serious now.
There's some weird treats in here. Like there was
Because I kind of want to try
I
that.
guess it was a jerky. It was supposed to be like a fish jerky, but it was supposed to taste like a chicken tender. But it had the texture of an airhead, and I was not having it.
What? Wait, hang on. Hang on.
What happened in the
Let's see
last
if I can
minute?
find a picture.
I need to reconstruct this sentence to make sure I heard it correctly. It is fish jerky.
Oh, I found it. There it is.
meant to
called-
taste like
Hold on,
chicken,
let me
It's
make
called-
but with the
Frost camera
consistency of an
miso
herring.
big
katsu
camera
of
so
a
everybody
of
can
a
see.
chicken tender, which is nothing like jerky.
Yeah, no, not at all. Look at that.
That looks like a peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, that really
sandwich.
does look like PB and J.
It is a
Wow.
miso katsu jerky. Is the super savory fish jerky is a handy snack made to taste like one of the most beloved dishes in Japan, and it had a picture of like a chicken tender. Maybe that's a fish tender now.
Maybe,
That's
maybe
saying
it's
that?
supposed to be fish.
Maybe, yeah. It did not taste like fish. It tasted like cheese and wheat. had the texture of a weird, like an Airheads Extreme, but the only thing extreme about it was the flavor was all kinds of wrong. Yeah, no,
Wow.
I've been having fun with that.
Okay, real quick. Wraithbow said, I get a box of Japanese snacks. The next one is supposed to be Persona themed. Excuse me,
cool.
Wraithbow?
Marty is now
what does that mean?
interested.
I'm worried about. So a couple of years ago, like a Persona gotcha game kind of like leaked, and I haven't heard about anything of it since. I'm very worried if they do that. Like that is going to be like financially devastating for me if there's a Persona gotcha game.
Oh,
We got to be on the lookout
Yeah.
to hide that news.
Yeah,
from
if
Marty,
Marvel,
should-
if I'm
should it
if
emerge.
I'm like minorly concerned about Marvel, ooh, Persona's not going to be good.
All right, public service announcement. Keep
Freeze my
Marty
credit
safe.
cards if the Persona game comes out.
I didn't.
All right, so but that's gonna wrap things up for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed. Frost, why don't you let folks know where they can find you on the internet and what you'll be up to?
On the interwebs, twitch.tv/theotherfrost. I'll be on that in a couple of hours, checking out some demos, and same tag for the Twitters until that blows up. That's it for me.
Marty, how about you?
Yeah, check out, like I mentioned, in 90 minutes I'll be streaming Sonic with Amy. Oh my god, Amy's a character in Sonic as well. Oh, this is gonna be
true.
great. I'm gonna come up with all sorts of icebreakers. I don't know how many different icebreakers I can have with the Amy show.
Just the one.
Just the one. Yeah, and then I might stream some Sonic on my personal channel later tonight. I don't know though. We'll see how I feel. And then yeah, all the normal stuff this week. Slightly something else tomorrow at noon will be about. It'll be right after the Game Award nominations go out, so we'll be reacting to those live. Those go out at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Wait,
Sweet.
You'll be reacting to on site or something else to the Game Awards.
The Game Award nominations.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
And I don't know why I said reacting live. The show is always live. It's just the nominations are going up at 11 and the show is at 12.
Yeah,
so it'll be our
they'll
instant
have-
thoughts.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, how did you get Yahtzee to watch them?
That would not work well.
Jesse, where can people find you? What do you be up to?
Oh man, well, Rexicon Jesse. Also on Twitter until that blows up. So Rexicon Jesse on Tumblr as well. Check that out. I've posted on there before, about 2 years ago, maybe 3. But hey, if it all goes south, that's where it is. But also twitch.tv/Rexicon Jesse is there. So then that will be active. Like tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern time, I guess I'll be playing DBZ Breakers because thanks, Lampy, you just sent me a copy.
Oh wow.
So I'm gonna try that out, and if I like it, sorry Casey, I'll probably play that for Hidden Gems.
No.
But Casey will watch
As lo-
it.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to
Don't
play.
you
I
love
think I'll
Dragon
be fine.
Ball?
Yeah.
I like Dragon Ball.
You love
I
Dragon Ball.
don't like these hide and seek.
He was a
games.
Yamcha stan.
Oh,
and
this is
ever
this
since-
is the DBD one. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
No,
I was like,
DBZ.
when's that come out?
DBZ, DBD,
DBZ.
like.
All right. Oh, all right. That's neat.
Yeah, it actually seems kind of cool. Like I like it's way because it's 7 versus 1, which is way more.
What?
Which I'm very interested in seeing how this works. Might be garbage. I don't know. It's got mixed reviews. And then YouTube, which is Jesse Galena, and Patreon, which is patreon.com/Jesse Galena for support and stuff and good times. And there will be no RPG help desk on Wednesday. Sorry. I have to get these floors done, and that's when
What
they're
if I
coming.
need help in my RPGs?
You could just add me on Discord, Marty.
Okay.
That's how.
How do I beat this boss in Persona 5 Royal? Not gonna help I do.
Superman Jeff, where can folks find you? What do you be
Hey,
up to?
man, you can find me at Superman Jeff 12 across all social media. You can also find us at the Open Party, Twitch channel, YouTube channel, and we have a Discord if you're not aware of that. In 120 minutes, I'll be back on Super Smash Sunday with
Very specific.
this one guy named Sigma Gears 9. And then this week, usually do a Monday stream. It won't be a Monday this week. It'll probably be a Tuesday. We'll be doing multiverses instead of Monday. It'll be on Tuesday. And that'll probably be it for this week.
Nice. As always, you guys can find me at Sigma Gears 9 on Twitch and Twitter. Like Jeff said, Super Smash Sunday starts at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so join us for that if you're into that sort of thing. Should have a review dropping soon within this week for Somerville, so make sure you tune in when that drops. Might surprise you, my thoughts. Also, the Weeb Shit Show is coming.
Yeah,
it's in the final editing bits and pieces. So I don't know when that's supposed to go up, but I think at least for members, I think the plan is
by the end of the week. I think later this week.
Yeah, something like that. So keep an eye out for that. But also give us lots of feedback when that drops.
Yes,
so much
Like,
feedback.
tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. I don't think it'll die if you guys hate it, but just tell us what you want it to be.
the
can
Weeb
form
Shit
it
brand
into
will
what you
not
want it to be.
die, but you guys can help steer us in a direction that is doable for us and enjoyable for you and all that stuff.
Because sometimes
Exactly.
you get told to do something and you're like, yeah, okay. Was this what people expected? Who knows? But I guess this is what we're doing.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that, sure. But what if we
Be fair, we did fund this a year ago without a plan of just saying Weeb Shit's a funny thing. Let's do
That is so true.
I'm still here. Like, what is Weeb Shit? I can't wait. To see.
Great. That's a great question. We're all gonna find out together.
But yeah, outside of that, all the regular streams should be good to go. I'm not doing any traveling this week, so Monday we'll be doing Hidden Gems. Wednesday we'll be doing Breakout / Get Jesse to the Greek. Thursday we'll be doing Metal Gear Solid 4, and game night as usual. So
Yeah. Good
yeah,
stuff.
follow me on Twitch and Twitter, and you know what? Just follow the Instagram as well. Why not? just in case, you know what I'm saying?
Now
It's
that's the meta. That's going away too. We all got to ban
but
again.
it'll take a while longer, I think.
That's probably true.
We gotta figure out Mastodon quick.
Oh,
I'm already on Mastodon.
Oh, I'm never gonna figure that out.
Yeah, I looked at it, like it looked similar, but they're clearly doing something very different.
It is because you have like rather than like Twitter.com and you make a Twitter and you're in all of them, it's more like a Discord where you make a thing and then you get subscribed to a bunch of different ones for different reasons. And then you kind of have to I think you have to reconnect with people in different ones. I don't know if there's if you're friends with them on one and they're on another server, do you auto friends? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, like like the one thing Twitter had for it was that it was like dummy proof.
It was dummy proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for 99% of people are lazy and
simple.
dumb, and Twitter is
Unless if you
somebody
buy the
lazy.
company. It was not dummy proof if you purchased it.
And that's gonna do it for episode 84. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.